Hello, and welcome to the Tiny Human Knits podcast, my podcast about knitting, sewing, crochet, cross stitch, and all manner of crafty goodness. My name is Laura, and you can find me as Tiny Human Knits on Ravelry and Instagram, and also on Etsy. You've got a shop there, although it is on holiday mode right now, but we'll be reopening on the 21st of September with a bunch of new fall goodies. And you can also join the Ravelry page. We've got a group on Ravelry, and it's just under the Tiny Human Knits podcast group. And you should definitely go check that out right now because we are having a knit along at the moment. It is the Weather KAL, and it's going till the end of December. It started on August 1st. I think August 1st. And it's knit yourself a sweater, knit somebody else a sweater. Christmas presents is also a good thing to start at the moment, as it's going to be creeping up on us in a matter of minutes, in my mind. The rules are that it has to be for ages 3 and up, and that's pretty much it. It had to be at least, or no more than 50% done on the start date, so you can't have a mostly finished sweater that you just sort of bind off and finish right at the end. So definitely go check that out and join in. We've got a bunch of people joining in, and it makes me so happy because I love knit-alongs. Absolutely adore them. Before I get started on the podcast proper, I'm just going to let everyone know that I might end up having a sneezing fit or having to pause and blow my nose because I think I might be allergic to our cat, which would be very sad. But also, I don't think I'd give her up. I love her way too much. She's such a sweetheart. She's a cuddle bug, and she loves being held and petted and playing, and just, she's the best cat ever. So if I do have to pause for a moment, I have been sneezing like an absolute maniac, and yeah, it's a bit grotesque. Anyway, I will start off with what I am wearing, and I am wearing my Deodara top today. It is the Deodara pullover by Maria Olson, and you can find it on Ravelry. And I knit this last year, I believe, earlier last year or the beginning of this year. I can't actually remember. It's up on my project page if anyone wants to check it out. And I made it out of Cascade 220, a nice wearable wool. It's a bit toothy, but I don't mind that at all. I have no issue with moderately scratchy wool, which makes me so happy because scratchy wool has a tendency to be a bit less expensive than fancy superwash merino, so there's that. So that is what I'm wearing, and the other thing I'm wearing is one of my FOs for this week. I have two, kind of technically three, finished objects for this week. The first one being my Una shawl. So I finished this when we went camping a week ago. We went for a week. And this was my main project because it was under a deadline as a test knit for my friend Rosie of the Pixel Atlantis podcast and Etsy shop. This was her most recent design for a shawl, and she asked me if I would test knit it, and I've actually never test knit anything before, so I was really excited to. So I finished this while we were camping, and it is perfect. I made it out of my own hand-dyed yarn, and it's in a superwash merino. And it's this long, covered in hair. It's a very long drapey shawl. It's perfect for straggling single skeins of fingering weight wool, which I don't know if you can see, but I have many. They're going to be made into something eventually, I hope, but I have a lot, so I might be making more of this shawl for sure. So it's knit on the bias, which also I have never done, which made it really fun. And it was when I was knitting it, I kept trying to stretch it out to see what it would look like, because I don't really know what on the bias looks like when you knit it up, because I've never had to do it before. So the shaping of it's really odd when you're actually knitting it, but when you get to the end and you do the decreases and stuff, it evens itself out, but I really like it. And my favorite way to wear it is just fold it in half and then loop it around. It ends up being very warm that way. And it is starting to get mighty chilly here. I think the high for today is 17 degrees Celsius, which is pretty chilly because I think 2 days ago the high was 32 degrees Celsius. So we went full drop. And also I'm just going to say right now that I absolutely 100% appreciate our weather so much right now, considering that some people in the south are dealing with hurricanes and earthquakes. and all that crazy stuff. So everyone stay safe as much as you can. Remember, things are just things. Family is what's important. Don't forget your pets. I hate seeing people leave their pets behind in natural disasters, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so my other finished object, I guess my second finished object, is my Gwyneth cardigan. I worked on this so much when we were camping, and I tried to get it done so hard. Please excuse the fact I haven't sewn any ends in yet because I got really lazy and started knitting socks. So this is my Gwyneth cardigan. It is by Amanda Jones, and it was in the Knitter magazine. I can't remember which issue. I will link it down below, though. You can't buy it in the paper form anymore, but you can download a copy, which is what I did. Okay, I'm going to try to get this all in one shot. I won't be able to. Okay. So it hasn't been blocked either, and I haven't woven in the ends, but the sleeves are done. The button band is done. I actually, a lot of times when I'm knitting pullovers or cardigans, I guess not pullovers, when I knit cardigans, I do not like doing the button band. I don't know what it is about a button band, but I don't particularly enjoy it. So when I am knitting, I usually knit the front pieces and the back, and then I will do the seaming as per pattern instruction, and then I will do the button band first before I do the sleeves, because I feel if you do it before you finish, you're more likely to do it. That's kind of my philosophy in life. Why do tomorrow what you could do today? So I don't think my husband particularly likes it because it means that when I ask him to do something, it usually means right away. So I will put this on just to show you. It's going to be a bit bulky in the arms because I'm already wearing a knitted cardigan or a sweater. The yarn is Knit Picks City Tweed in their DK weight. And this is the Blue Blood colorway. I'm going to take off this shawl because it's going to be way too warm. And once it's blocked, because it's a lace and cable pattern, it will open up a lot and be like a very oversized sweater. And the sleeves I'm going to stretch out a little bit more too, but it is gorgeous. I love this pattern so much. It turned out so nicely. I am a little bit sad that it's not for me. This is for a coworker, but she's going to look super cute in it when she's in college, so it's okay. So I just need to sew in the ends and give it a good soak, and then I have ordered buttons for her specifically. I haven't told her what kind, I just told her I was waiting on special buttons, but I got some from, I think Never Not Knitting on Instagram has a shop, and I just bought some of her clearance buttons that are, I can't remember what size they are, but they have a laser engraved whale on them, and the coworker who is the recipient of this cardigan is absolutely obsessed with whales. So I think she's going to be pretty excited about that. I also over-ordered this yarn like crazy. I have 4 extra skeins, and I don't think I'll be using them for anything. So there is a pattern for a knitted whale on Ravelry, and it's made for DK, and I think with the tweedy yarn, it'll look really great. So I'm going to make that for her for Christmas. And I don't think she watches this podcast, so I don't have to worry about her finding that out. So I think she'll really like that. So that is my Gwyneth cardigan finished. And this was taking up like 99% of my knitting time. So now that this is done, I can work on other stuff, which there is a huge laundry list of other stuff to do. So busy right now. And I really want to make something for my mom for her birthday, which is coming up in a few weeks, and we're going to be going to Edmonton to go visit, and my husband's doing some secondary schooling advanced stuff. I don't know. He told me, but I wasn't really listening. My third kind of finished object, I don't know if you can call this finished object. I never think household stuff really qualifies, but fall is here, and I need a little bit of fall decoration in my house because it's adorable. So I made a couple pumpkins. So this is the first one. And these are just made in Patton's classic wool that I have left over because I have a ton. I used to work at Michael's, so it was really cheap and I bought a lot of it. So there's the yellow one and this beautiful burgundy. And I adore these. They're so cute and they're so quick to make. And the pattern is called Pumpkin Spice. It's on Ravelry. I cannot remember if it's a paid for pattern. I bought it so long ago, I can't remember. But this is also a good testament to doing a gauge swatch because these yarns are supposed to be the same size. So even within the same brand, same type of wool, you can get a vast difference. And I have found, this might not be for all yarns, but I have found that the darker the color, the thinner it feels, because I feel like the darker colors, I don't know, maybe they shrink up the yarn a little bit. But I will definitely be making more of these. I kind of feel like I need them all over my house, and my house is gigantic. I would have to buy so many decorations to actually fill up my house. But I feel like maybe we should buy furniture before we do that. Our house is big and empty, so cleaning is really easy. So those are my finished objects. I should have had more. I feel like I should have had more. But we did a lot of hiking when we went camping. And a lot of just sitting around the campfire, me eating marshmallows just out of the bag because that's apparently what I do when I go camping. But hopefully I'm still working at the moment and I don't know how long for, but hopefully it'll be done soon, so then I will have way more time to work on shop stuff and also personal knitting, especially with Christmas coming because I'm so far behind. So in for works in progress, I have my one pair of socks. It's the pink and gray socks that I've been working on for the last few months. I'm making 6 pairs of matching socks. And I am almost done the 4th pair. So I've got the first sock there, and then I have got, I'm almost done the second sock. I just have the cuff to do. So that's really exciting. And the next 2 pairs are for much smaller feet, so it'll be a lot quicker. So I want to get this done today because I'm so sick of knitting these socks. I'm so bored of it. I kind of want to put it off a little bit because I have other things that I want to be making and I don't really have a lot of time for this. But work has slowed down rather significantly. Our fires have started going out. So hopefully I can work on those a bit at work as well. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how much gumption I have to actually finish this project. Because I do not recommend making 6 pairs of matching socks to anyone because it's just dull. It's very dull. Especially unpatterned socks. Although I feel like patterned socks would be even more dull because then you'd be like stuck in the pattern and just... Vanilla socks, you can at least watch movies and stuff while you're knitting them. I have my... the First Light Shawl by Vera Valimaki. It didn't get out of the bag while we were camping at all. I was kind of nervous because I'm in the lace section and I don't know why, but being outside and knitting lace makes me a little bit nervous. I didn't want it to catch on anything or have full of ashes from the fire or smoke. So I wanted to keep it all nice and pristine, so I never actually ended up working on it. And I never got around to casting on my roaming around pullover either, but I will hopefully be doing that. I'll be swatching for it today, I think, and hopefully I can get that started right away. I also have a serious case of castanitis, but with the benefit of being far too busy to cast on anything. So, because I'm trying to keep to a list of, like, more time-sensitive things first, obviously, and then knitting for pure pleasure after that. The problem with that for me is that my knitting for pleasure gets constantly bumped down on the list of things to do because I get requests from people a lot and I have this inability to say no sometimes. Sometimes I'm happy to do it and sometimes, like, I know for me a lot of the times I will pick patterns for sweaters and stuff like that that I love and I want to make but wouldn't particularly suit me so I like to make them for other people. So it's a huge long thing of not having enough time to knit for myself, but soon, soon, soon. And I think that's all I had for works in progress. Literally just the one pair of socks. I'll definitely have more next week, or the week after, in 2 weeks. I'll definitely have more because I will hopefully be done working, so I'll be able to move through a lot of my projects a little bit quicker. And my queue on Ravelry keeps getting rearranged because Christmas and what I want to wear, because now that it's finally gotten colder, I have added so many sweaters to my queue, and if I don't get started on that immediately, I will die with a queue of like 300 sweaters, and I don't want that to happen, so I'll knit faster. And that's my works in progress. So as for acquisitions, I don't have very much this week. I've ordered a lot of stuff that is for my shop, so you'll be seeing it later on when my shop reopens on the 21st of September. But I haven't really been ordering a lot of yarn anymore because I feel like now I definitely have enough. I have ordered a bit from Knit Picks for Christmas present knitting, and I ordered a giveaway prize for the sweater knit along. I will tell you it's from Knit Picks. I will show you when I get it. I ordered a sweater's quantity of some of my favorite yarn from Knit Picks, so that should be coming in the mail soon. I'll be able to show you next time what you might be able to win if you enter the sweater weather knit along. And I also ordered some knitting needles and yarn for a friend of mine because she wants to learn how to knit because she needs a hobby. She's been very bored at home and needs a bit of something to keep her entertained. So we ordered some yarn for her to make a pair of gloves and some Knit Picks needles that were used by a coworker of mine, and she says they're really good too. So I'm hoping that she enjoys them as well. It's weird. I ordered the wooden tip Knit Picks needles, and I really like them. They're very smooth. They're very comfortable to use, but I can feel that I hold my needles quite tightly, and when I'm knitting with these tiny little wooden needles, I feel like I'm going to snap them in half, and it makes me so nervous that I actually lose stitches a little bit easier on them than I do on my Addy turbos and my Addy interchangeable sets, which is rather amusing to me. But one of the things that I did order is I finally ordered from Lichen and Lace, which is a Canadian company. And I found recently, just with everything that's going on, I really want to support Canadian makers because I live in Canada, and I want to be able to support people in my own country. And so I've been ordering a lot from Canadian companies, and one of them was Lichen and Lace. And I ordered 2 skeins of yarn. I can only show you one because the other one is a surprise for my fiber share partner. Just in case she watches, I don't want to spoil the surprise. So the one I got for myself is their 80/20 sock, superwash merino and nylon, and it is in the soot colorway. And I love this. This is going to be great for just a basic, kind of neutral, but still, it's less neutral, I feel, than gray, but it's still not like a bright shiny color, so it'll tone down any brighter colors that I have. So I wanted something a bit darker in my stash than just the sort of slate grays that I have. And so yeah, that'll go into my stash. There's nothing particular that I'm going to be making at the moment with it, but there are many, many, many possibilities. And some other yarn that I picked up, I almost forgot about this actually, just because I didn't get it ordered, so it didn't feel quite the same as all my other acquisitions that have arrived in the last few months. But when we were camping, our campsite was about a half-an-hour drive away from Hinton, Alberta, which is in the mountains. And my husband has a friend who's working there over the summer, so we decided to pop in there and go for lunch with his friend. And we were sitting at a restaurant, and they were chatting, and I was kind of just sitting there knitting because I don't really know this person very well, and they went to school together, so they're a bit closer. So I started Googling if there was any yarn shops nearby, and there was one literally 9 minutes away, 9-minute walk away. So I left them at the restaurant and trekked over to this beautiful little shop. It's mostly for quilting and like sewing and stuff like that, but they have this shelf full of yarn. But even so, I loved the atmosphere of the shop, and the lady at the counter, whose name I am totally blanking on, I can't remember, was absolutely lovely. I adore talking to people about patterns that you can find on Ravelry that actually know what I'm talking about. She'd mentioned a pattern, and I would know what she was talking about, and so on and so forth. And so I bought some fabrics and some buttons, and I also picked up a sweater's quantity of yarn in a brand that I'd never heard of before. And it's called Galway. It is 100% wool. And I got 3 of this gray. And this does not have a color name on it. But it's made in Peru. And then I got 1 of this one. And I think they're delightfully soft, especially for wool. I will definitely be making myself a yoked sweater out of this, I think. I think I might be making another Sundaughter by Brooklyn Tweed. Pardon my pronunciation if that is totally wrong. But I haven't 100% decided yet. But I do have enough. And it's gorgeous. I don't know what it is about this particular color that I keep buying. It's just pretty. But yeah, I got that. And then my buttons and fabric have been logged away for organizational purposes, and I'm trying to get this room sorted out because I am going to be setting up my sewing room in our basement. After I get all my shelving, I'm going to be popping into IKEA when I go to Edmonton soon and pick up a lot of cube shelving to go down there. And so this room is going to look a little different. Nothing too drastic. I'm still going to be keeping all my yarn in here, I think, just because it's an easier way to keep the cat out of all my yarn, because over the past few weeks, if we leave her out at night and I accidentally leave a ball of yarn somewhere in the house, she's going to find it and she's going to unravel it. I have learned this. So all the yarn stays locked up in here and the door gets shut. I love her, but she's a cat. It's just what they do. And then my last acquisition was also from when we went to Hinton. We stopped over at the Walmart, because that's what you do when you live up north. You stop at Walmart. But I picked up, and this is not yarn, I picked up a magazine. And I don't think I'd normally show a magazine on the podcast, just because you can, there's so many and you can find them everywhere. I think most people have a general idea of what's available there. But this one, if you're ever curious, is Interweave Knits. And this is, I don't know. Oh, fall 2017. I don't know particularly what their schedule is like. This one here. This one is so full of patterns that I want to make. Actually, a little bit ridiculous. Normally, I will buy a pattern if there's, buy a magazine if there's at least 2 to 3 patterns in it that I want to make. But this one has like half a dozen. This one here. Sorry if it's crooked. And then I saw this on Instagram. I can't remember who the designer, what their name is on Instagram, but I saw this and wanted to make it and totally forgot that was in this magazine. It's a gorgeous hat. The one on the cover is this kind of poncho blanket thing. Even this, it's made of chunky wool, and I still love it. I love cables. I'm a sucker for cables. Also, this project would be so quick. But the main reason I bought it, and yes, I would buy a magazine for one pattern. It's that one. It's so beautiful. Again, sucker for cables. There's more in here that I'd like to make, but those are the main ones. Hopefully that didn't look too weird showing them on podcast. But yeah, It's a good one. You should go pick it up if you haven't already. So those are all of the acquired knitty goodness that I have. A lot of the fabrics and buttons and stuff that I bought will be, again, shuffled into the shop. And yeah, hopefully I can get a lot of work done this weekend. The weather's sort of perfect for sitting inside around the fire and knitting and cross-stitching my little heart out, which hopefully I will get to do. So I can get a lot of stuff done there, and then with work being a little bit slower, I have a little bit of a chance to knit there, and then I can actually come home at night at the right time. So that's really nice as well. No more overtime days eating up all my knitting hours. And that's pretty much all there was. Do a little bit of blather now about our camping trip. It was absolutely fantastic. We had the perfect window of weather goodness. Apparently the week before we came was super cold at night. Like they were saying, got up to like 0 degrees Celsius. And after we left, I think it rained quite a bit and it was quite smoky from all the fires along the border of British Columbia and Alberta. They were coming over the mountain. So it was quite smoky the second last day we were there, but not too bad, because where we were camping is pretty big of a dip. It's the basic ridge where the roads are, and then it dips in where a bunch of lakes are. So it was smoky, but it was staying out of the crater that we were in, so it was fine. But yeah, when we left, apparently it got pretty bad. So we picked a perfect time to go. And I was half considering not going camping at all and staying at work because it was so busy. Because we had planned this before our work got extended, because I work for the summer, like, part-time fire thing. I do office work for the Wildfire Association. But we got extended because our fires went out of control. And so we had planned this from before, when I was supposed to be done on August 17th. And I was considering it, but my friend Elise was very adamant that I go camping. And she's totally right. Because, especially with the state of the world as it is right now, I have decided to enjoy every moment as it comes. Don't worry about work. Don't worry about making more money, obviously to the extent of, you know, pay your bills and don't get yourself into terrible debt, but to really enjoy yourself and your loved ones. So I'm going to be trying to spend as much good quality time with my husband as I can, and our babies. And kind of a tangent, but yeah, enjoy each other while you have them, because you never know what could happen. But yeah, so camping was great. Sorry about that. Camping was really great. We went hiking a couple times, and we went on this big trail, and we went to go see, they're called hoodoos. They're like a sandstone rock formation that's been shaped by wind. So the shapes are all smoothed out around the edges, and they've got all these like outcroppings of rock sticking out from the side of this thing, and it was really cool. My husband is going to post some on on Instagram, some pictures about that, but I might post a couple on, I might put in a Ravelry page about the camping trip, but we'll see. Yeah, I've got a lot to do today, so I think I might just leave it there, and I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope you all are well, and I'm going to get to work now. So I hope to see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Bye!